Yo, what's up guys? My name is Zane Allen and today I'm going to be teaching you guys my favorite ways to make credits going into 2026 in Star Wars: The Old Republic. Now, making credits in this game is a huge topic and for good reason. For one, who doesn't like to make a little bit of cash? And two, there are so many different things that you can buy in this game, whether it's from vendors, your legacy, or on the GTN, the player market. Now, I can't really start talking about credits without talking about the restrictions that there are for free-to-play and preferred players. Since the dawn of time, free-to-play players and preferred status players have had a credit cap, which caps the number of credits that you can have on your player at a time. A few years ago, they did increase it to 1 million, but in today's economy, that's still not very much. So as you're watching this guide, just keep in mind that you may have to put your credits into a legacy bank if you are a preferred or free-to-play player. So if you don't know, your legacy bank is your cargo hold that is shared between your entire legacy or all of the characters that you have on the same server. But you can see down here at the bottom, it kind of functions like a bank. You can hold credits here. You can withdraw, say I can withdraw 1 credit, it'll give me 1 credit, I can deposit, say 50 credits, it'll put 50 credits in the bank. Right now, I'm a subscriber, and so all of my credits are really spread out throughout all of my characters. And if you know anything about having lots and lots of credits in your inventory and then unsubscribing, you know that your credits kind of go into purgatory. They call it the escrow. If you go over your 1 million credit limit, it kind of goes into limbo out somewhere and you have to pay Cartel coins to get those credits back. Or you can always just resubscribe and all of your escrow credits go straight into your inventory. I was preferred status for years. I was playing this game as a kid. I didn't have my own money. My parents didn't like me spending money on video games. So I got very familiar with the legacy bank system. What you can do is if you are free to play or preferred, you can put your money in your legacy bank once you're getting close to 1 million. Maybe you can keep close to 100,000 just for random expenditures. And then you can continue to make credits. And then once you're nearing 1 million again, you can go ahead and put more in your legacy bank. This way, you're making more than 1 million credits. You're saving them in the legacy bank where you can access them. You may not be able to withdraw all of them and use them on the character at one time, but you will be able to withdraw credits if you're spending them regularly. And also, if you subscribe, you will be able to use all of those credits. Honestly, it kind of sucks that the credit cap is so low, especially considering how inflated the economy is right now. There's not really a whole lot of things that you can buy on the player market for 1 million credits. However, I'm hoping that sometime soon they're gonna increase this cap. But for now, we have to work with what we've got. Without further ado, let's go ahead and move on to the actual credit making methods. I'm going to be splitting this into 2 sections. I recognize that there are a lot of free-to-play and preferred players out there that are still looking to make credits. So I'm going to start off with doing methods that anybody can do, free-to-play, preferred, subscribed. It doesn't require a subscription at all. And let's hop right into the first method. Alright, so the first method that I'm going to be talking about to you guys today is doing heroics. Heroics are a really great way to make credits in Star Wars: The Old Republic. Like any guide that you watch will tell you to do heroics, but that's for good reason. They don't just get you credits. If you're still leveling, doing these heroics will get you higher level. If you're max level, doing these heroics will get you more gear because you get more currency. You can also get a whole lot of conquest points during heroics, which who doesn't want more conquest points? Heroics are a solid way to get the money that you need, especially if you're a preferred player and your cap is only 1 million. If you're doing a planet or 2 of heroics on 1 character every day, that's still a solid source of income. However, people who are really looking to farm credits tend to do almost all of the heroics on multiple characters every day or just multiple times a week. It really just depends how many credits you want and how much time you're willing to invest into this method. As you can see here, I'm on Karkis. He's a level 80 max character, and if I click into one of the heroics, this is just a weekly mission. It doesn't give you as many credits, it gives you more gear stuff. But if you click into one of the actual heroics, you can see that for each heroic, you get about 28,000 credits. And so if you were to do all 5 of these auto-run heroics, you would get about 140,000. It may not seem like much, but honestly, it's really nothing to sneeze at. You're doing 5 heroics, it shouldn't take that long. You're getting gearing currencies as well, and you're making 140,000 credits. Plus, you're not even capped at just doing one planet. You could also do another planet, and for a planet like Balmora where there's many more heroics, you're gonna make around 250,000 credits because Balmora has 9 heroics. You could easily do both of these planets, Alderaan and Balmora, in one setting and make nearly 400,000 credits, and that's not to mention all of these other planets that may have faster heroics that you can do. I'm going to be making a guide sometime soon about all the heroics, which ones are faster, which ones are slower, which ones are better for making money, which ones have shortcuts, which ones you should do with friends, which ones you can do with stealth characters, all of the stuff. A little convoluted for this guide, something that you kind of learn with experience with playing the game and doing all the heroics in the game multiple times, but I'm willing to share my knowledge with you guys so that you guys can level up and make credits more efficiently. Alright, moving on to method number 2, I have crafting and crew skills. Now, there are some restrictions with crafting and crew skills, of course, if you're free to play or preferred. However, there are some workarounds. You can use multiple different characters to have the different crew skills that you need. And even if you just have one character, there is one crew skill that will be very lucrative for you, and that is going to be slicing. If you only have one crew skill available, I would recommend going with slicing. It's a very good crew skill to make money, especially if it's the only crew skill that you can have. You can unlock more crew skills with things like Cartel coins and other sorts of unlocks. However, I find that most people who are free to play or preferred tend to use different tunes to craft and to gather resources. But if this is your first tune, or maybe you just don't feel like hopping from character to character, get credit boxes and lots of crafting materials that will sell on the GTN for credits. The thing about slicing is that it doesn't have a direct crafting partner, so almost every crafting skill will use slicing materials, and most people who craft will have the direct gathering skills that they need for their own crafting skill instead of having slicing, so slicing parts tend to sell a little better on the GTN than other ones. And also, as you get up to grade 11, which is currently the max grade at this point in time, you can go on missions to get crafting materials which will sell for hundreds of thousands of credits on the GTN. Crafting is really awesome because you can do it while you do other things in the game. You don't have to sit and wait in one spot. You can do content, you can play story, you can do heroics and make more credits while you're crafting or doing skill missions. Really, the possibilities with this are endless. Again, crafting is a super convoluted topic, and I'm going to be making a crafting guide. I craft a lot myself. That's how I have made the majority of my credits, and I still have a pretty steady income. But even though I'm going to do a crafting guide soon, I'm going to go ahead and touch on some of the big ticket crafting items. One of the biggest selling crafting items in the game is augments. Now, for the most part, for the augments that are going to sell well, you're going to need to invest in either buying or finding a schematic, and a lot of these things do cost way more than 1 million credits. However, if you're free to play or preferred, there is another piece to augments that you can craft. As you can see, the most recent augmentation kit, MK11, sells for about 550,000 credits a pop, so crafting those wouldn't be a terrible idea. Another big ticket item is stims. People use stims all the time for harder content in the game. Now, there are these gold ones, which may take you a very long time to get through, but I find that these purple advanced stims tend to sell pretty well. They only sell for about 300,000, or this one about 200,000, but people are buying more than one at a time because they don't want to have to come back, and people are buying these if they want to do mastermind flashpoints or operations, and that's a whole lot of people. These are also usually people who have a lot of credits to spend, myself included, so that's definitely something to consider as well. Alright, let's move on to method number 3, which is selling guild encryptions. Now, if you open the mission log by pressing L, you'll see you have tabs up here. You come over to guild invasions, and you'll see that if your guild completes conquest, you will be able to select one of 3 encryptions, and this is on every character that you have complete a conquest in a guild. Once you select those encryptions, you can come to your inventory, hit this little diamond, because they are automatically put into your materials inventory. You can see here all of these 3 encryptions are here in my inventory. They actually sell for decent credits, like the command one of them sells for 630,000, so that's 630,000 a week per character. Engineering sells for a little bit less, and the logistical one actually sells for almost 1 million, which isn't bad at all. That may be a really good option if you are free to play or preferred and are looking for just some quick cash. Even for subscribers, this is some pretty quick cash. I almost never think about selling these things myself. If you're in a guild, your guild may be collecting these to upgrade the guild flagship. So it may be a good idea to check in with your guild and ask which ones you need to save and which ones you can sell. However, if your guild already has a full flagship, it's always good to just go ahead and sell them for some quick cash. Always go ahead and make sure which ones are selling more. The prices on these things on the market are changing by the day, by the hour. And so tomorrow the command might be more expensive than the logistical one. You never know. Go ahead and check. You can always choose which one you want to accept strategically based on the price on the GTN. And speaking of the GTN, we can't talk about the GTN without talking about selling crafting materials. Alright, so looking at bioanalysis here and sorting by the price, it looks like this immunity cell culture is the highest selling bioanalysis gathering skill material. Sells for about 12,000, about 13,000 credits a pop. That might not sound like a bunch, but if you get 10 of them, that's already 130,000. If you get 100, that's 1.3 million. But these grade 11 materials are what you want to go for. They're the easiest to get. You can get a whole lot of them, and they sell pretty consistently at the highest level. Bioanalysis just has some grade 6 here and there. And like, if I go to slicing here, it's not even grade 11. This is a grade 4 sliced tech part and it's selling for 140k, which is kind of crazy. I recommend taking some time and looking through the GTN for yourself, seeing what sells the highest, and then trying to farm that as much as you can. There are lots of crafters in this game, and the majority of people who are crafting for profit, like myself, don't really feel like going out and getting all of these materials yourself. So if you're not big on crafting and you don't have that many credits to spend, this may be a good time investment because people will buy them. You see, there are 15,000 of these on the market, but they are getting bought. They wouldn't be selling for 10k, nearly 11k, if people weren't buying them. So for the most part, for free-to-play and preferred players, that's the brunt of the easy and reliable ways to make credits. Now, I really only gave you methods that weren't going to immediately put you over that 1 million credit cap in one go. There's no sense in wasting money. These methods are efficient and they will make you lots of credits. You just have to be consistent. There are also a lot of pretty niche random ways to make credits for free-to-play and preferred players. There's one website that I use. I'm gonna try and find it. There's a website that I looked at a couple of months ago. There were actually a lot of really fun niche ways to make credits. I'm gonna try and find that, and I'm gonna link that in the description below for you to check out. It was an awesome guide, and it was very clear about like if you could do it subscribed or preferred, or it was a really great setup. So I'm gonna try and find that. I'm gonna link that down below. Definitely check that out, get you some more ideas, get you some more fun and funky ways to make some credits. But now let's talk about my methods for making credits as a subscriber. Now, number one, I feel like it's pretty obvious. I've talked about this a lot already, but it is crafting. I craft a lot in this game. In fact, that's kind of true and kind of not. I craft a lot at one time, and then I won't craft for about a month. I have more than enough credits, and then I'll craft, I'll sell, and then I won't craft for another month. I kind of go in that cycle, because crafting is just that good, where you don't need to be doing it constantly to make enough credits to sustain you. Especially if you're someone like me that doesn't really spend their credits all that much. Again, I'm going to be making an advanced crafting guide sometime soon that I'm probably going to post while I'm on vacation for Christmas. But I do want to mention that I have a kind of niche crafting area that I find gets me a whole lot of credits. Listen, not everyone in the game can craft the same big ticket item and make a heck of a lot of profit. It's a supply and demand sort of thing. Probably the highest selling craftable item in the game is the Superior Gold 86 augments. I find that a lot of people have it their goal to make those augments. Don't get me wrong, if that's your goal and you're looking to make hundreds and millions of credits per crafted item, by all means go ahead. But just keep in mind that these augments take a whole laundry list of very expensive, very hard to get materials. Spending hundreds of millions of credits just in materials alone, so the profit isn't going to be as big as you think, but don't get me wrong, it's still a bunch of profit. But my recommendation is to find a niche area of crafting where you kind of sit warm and cozy. Not a whole lot of people are crafting this thing, so I'm going to sell it for its max profit. Kind of a good balance between it's hard to get this, it takes work, and not everybody and their mother is selling it. Listen guys, I've had a lot of people ask me what I do to make my credits in particular and what I craft and sell. I'm kind of hesitant to share my secrets because, you know, the more people that start crafting them, the less money I'm going to make. I've had lots of friends and guildies ask me, and I've said I don't tell my trade secrets, but I'm thinking maybe I will go ahead and tell you. No shade. Just something to think about, but I think that's what you have to do as well. You have to kind of work with it, throw stuff at the wall, see what sticks, see what makes you credits, and just go from there. Now, if you're a subscriber, this might sound a little crazy if you don't do operations, but operations are actually a really good way to make credits in this game, not including all of the conquest and gearing perks that you get. But you can actually get some crafting materials that sell for a good amount of credits on the GTN. So by completing operations, and mainly by killing the bosses, you get tech fragments. I don't know what tech fragments are. They're one of the gearing currencies in the game right now. You come to the supplies area of the fleet and you come to the second room. There is this spoils of war vendor. If you talk to this guy, you can see that there's sort of all kinds of stuff that you can buy with your tech fragments. You can buy legendary embers. Now, I will say that I wouldn't recommend buying legendary embers with your tech fragments. These are good crafting materials, they sell on the GTN, but there are more efficient ways to get these and sell them than to spend 3,000 tech fragments on them, because let's be honest, 3,000 is kind of a lot. But instead, for 1,800 a pop, you can get these OEM 37s and RPM 13s. In fact, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to go ahead and buy one of each, the OEM 37 and the RPM 13. So that was about 3,600 tech fragments, and let's go see at the GTN how much I can sell those for today. Like I said, the GTN fluctuates a lot. It is a player market, it is an economy, and so it's always changing. So I always recommend keeping an eye on the things that you plan on selling if you're selling things through the GTN, just to see how they're doing. But I'm going to open up the GTN, I'm going to search OEM 37, and they're selling for a little over 7 million a pop. And for the RPM 13s, again, a little over 7 million a pop. I will say for these, I would not recommend selling them on the weekend, and that goes for almost anything that you craft. If you are a crafter, here's my trade secret: don't sell anything from Friday to Monday. Sell everything in the middle of the week. Why is that? Because more people are playing on weekends. People don't have to work, they're playing more, they have more time, they don't have work, they don't have school. They're dedicating more time to the game, they're able to craft more, and so there's a bigger supply of all of these crafting materials, not even just these, but even augments. Those are going to be selling for a lower price. Today is a Friday. I'm looking at all of these prices and I'm telling you that they're super good, and it's a Friday. On the GTN, a big thing about the GTN is people tend to undercut the cheapest seller. So if this one is selling for 7,110,129 credits, I would probably sell it myself for about 7,110,120 credits. That's what I would probably just do, just to keep it even. But a lot of people will undercut more than that. Someone might see this and they'll throw an RPM 13 on there for 7 million. I don't recommend doing that. Maybe buy a credit or two just to make sure that you're the cheapest, but undercutting, you're kind of just selling your own value. You're not going to get as many credits, but that is the thing where the weekends people are undercutting, and so then they're getting cheaper and there's more supply, so they're not selling as well. And so then if you wait till the middle of the week, the price is going to be higher and you're going to be able to sell them easier. Also, remember those gold 86 augments that we were talking about? Look at this. I search augment 86. This is the augment that I'm talking about. It sells for about 350 million credits, give or take a little bit. But look at this. Sell the schematic itself. What people need to be able to craft the augment is a schematic. You have to unlock it. And look, these sell for almost 800 million at the highest. Now, I will tell you, these are not easy by any means to get. To get these, you have to do Relentless Replication, which is a one boss operation on hard mode, which is pretty hard, and you only have a chance of it dropping it. Plus, that's a chance that you split between 7 other people. However, if you're a hard mode raider and you're looking to make some quick credits, I mean, come on. And again, it's a Friday. I've seen these sell for billions of credits. That's also a good shout. If you're a crafter and you're looking to buy materials and stuff, bulk buy them on the weekends when they're going to be cheaper, and then sell your stuff in the middle of the week when they're going to be more expensive to sell. That's just a pro tip. But yeah, most of these gold 86 augments are selling for like 150 million. So those are a good option as well. Just keep in mind the crafting materials that it's going to take to get these and the incredible amount of skill and experience that it's going to take to be able to get these. But I wouldn't say that it's out of anybody's reach. In fact, if you want to start raiding, always start raiding today. You get lots of cool stuff. You get the tech frags, you can sell those OEMs and RPMs. And as you can prove, you can start doing hard modes like RRHM and you can get these schematics. But honestly, it's not really a credit making guide without talking about the elephant in the room, which is the cartel market. Of course, turning real money into Star Wars credits. Now, I don't like doing— what the hell was that? See, I don't like doing this. I don't like spending my hard-earned money that I make in real life on things that I can just go and flip and sell on the GTN, but I will say that if that's something that you're willing to do to get credits, then it is a good method, because a lot of people want to make credits in-game so that they can buy cartel market items without having to spend their actual real-life money. So it's quick, it's easy, but there are some things that sell a little bit better than others so that you don't waste your money. So if you come here to the cartel market, you can always click on this tab that says on sale. This is a really good place to look for good deals. Like, look at this. This looks good to me. It's about half off, 900 cartel coins. And now I'm going to look and I'm going to put show items and I'm going to shift click to put that into the GTN. If you have the GTN open, I'm going to search it and it sells for, what is this? Chrome silver and okay, so it's this one that sells for about 125 million for 900 cartel points. It's not bad. And now if I did it with this metallic gold and chrome white one, I hit this. That one's for more cartel coins, but it sells for less. That's just kind of how it is. This is on huge sale, and if you search that up, that sells for 250 million. Is it worth it for almost 4,000 cartel coins? I don't think so, especially not compared to this one that's on sale for 900. That's just the sort of thing that you have to do. You kind of have to mess with it a little bit. So just go through this, kind of see what's on sale, and compare it to the GTN to see how well they're selling. To me, that's the best method to do to sell things from the cartel market on the GTN. I would be careful with selling armor sets. A lot of times armor sets do sell very well, but it's kind of hit or miss on if people are actually going to buy them. It looks like that gray on gray one was kind of going to be the best one. But yeah, I would definitely recommend looking through the on sale category. Things that I kind of noticed sell the best are dyes. I find that cool weapons sell really well. I find that these companions kind of tend to sell pretty well as well. And also tunings tend to sell pretty well, and these will often go on sale. Like this laser weapon tuning, I'm pretty sure I saw that on sale. Yeah, look, this one's on sale for 860 cartel coins, and it's selling right now for 250 million. It's not bad at all. So at the end of the day, those are the big ticket cartel market items that are going to get you credits. But guys, that is all I have for you today. If you have any other methods that you use to make credits, leave them in the comments below. This isn't just a me thing. This is also a space for you guys to share your ideas and thoughts. It's a really good opportunity to share your credit making methods with other people and to also find some other fun ways to make credits. I'm going to try and find that website and link it down below for you. If you enjoyed the video and liked the guide, please like, comment, and subscribe on my video. It helps my channel out so much. Also, if you want to watch me live, I do story content, I do heroics, I do operations, I do all sorts of things. I even craft and make credits on stream sometimes, that's all I'm saying. You can come and check me out at twitch.tv/ZaneAllenTV. I stream multiple times a week. It's a really fun time, and I would really love it if I saw any of you there. Also, really quickly, I just really want to thank you guys all so much for all of the support. We're nearly at 400 subscribers already, and I've been uploading on YouTube for less than a month. That is just incredible. You guys are the best, and it has truly touched me. Also, if you guys want to hang out, go ahead and join my Discord down below. Lots of cool, fun people on there, and I love meeting new people and answering questions. Just know that you are loved, you are beautiful, and you are worth it. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you all for watching. My name is Zane. Bye.